Hi. As I passed by there, someone was gently whispering to the next one, let alone internet. Was telephone invented by his time? And then as I passed further, somebody said, Grandpa, bathroom is that way. So I told my wife, I can't tell the story, online dating. She said, what does online dating consist of? Many dates. I heard from your mother that you did meet many women earlier. She's very jealous. She's exaggerating. And then she said there would be wide variety. And I said, yes, I had that. And thirdly, she said, it seems it's a very painful process. I said, that I had. Therefore, I hereby announce to you that in 1968, when I came to America, internet might not have been discovered, but I had discovered dating. And because my mother would write what are called inland letters in India, outland letters, every time saying that she would pass away any time and she wants to see the patter of little feet. And I haven't married. Are you going to marry someone there? Tell me so that my heart can be broken right now, because you must marry, you remember you must marry. And so I said, all right, mother, who do you want I marry? I know nobody here. She said, I have exactly the girl, because she had corresponded. And she said, in Chicago, there is this doctor. I said, mother, I'm in Los Angeles. And from what I am told, dates are done within a city or the next city. She said, oh, you don't care about your mother. You don't love your mother. I said, Mama, I will beg, borrow, steal. I'll go, give me the address. And so I did beg. And I did buy a ticket. And I come to Chicago. There is a friend of mine there from old times. I go to his home. I borrow his car. And then I drive up to downtown Chicago. And I'm driving. And in those days, there was no GPS. And I have paper maps. And I haven't read these things. I just come to America, fresh off the boat. So I get lost somewhere in downtown, and then I look at the watch and I say, my flight is in 3 hours. I have to finish the date, go back, give back the car, and go. And therefore, I just speed up, and I come on to the up ramp, and I hear, like I have seen in movies, revolving lights and a signal. And I stop, and I am so frustrated. And this young, godlike looking young black cop comes up. He's very tall, I'm very short. I'm in a VW Beetle like this, but he is agile. He bends down and he says, sir, do you know what you did? I said, sir, I am so frustrated. I don't care what I did. Please, whatever you want to, do I have to go to prison? I will, because my mother, and I began to tell him the story. He said, I have such a mother, so you don't need to tell me anymore. She wants you to get married, right? Right. All right. He said, you ran a red light. But I know you're going to meet somebody that you don't know, right? First dates. I've seen this. So I will give you a warning. Be careful not to die before you meet her, because your mother won't like it. So I go, and she's a doctor. My mother has been very attracted by the potential of high income. And I go there, and we have embarrassed conversation of some, weather and India and America and all that. And then I suddenly look at the watch and say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be impolite, but do you want to get married? And before she says anything, no, not that I want to get married to you. No, it didn't come out right. I didn't mean that. But however, my mama wants me to know whether I'm good. So she says, wait, let me spare you the trouble. She points with her finger to her desk. There is the photograph of a very good-looking young man from India. And I look at her and say, she says, "Oh, you are engaged?" She says, "Almost. We've been going together for 2-3 years. I think he's going to propose to me." I say, "But your mama, she has been hounding me and she knows about this. That is why she organized with somebody. She is in some other city in India and she has gotten in touch somehow with my mother. And so the two mothers have conspired that I would meet her and get married that evening so that the problem would be solved, because the young man's photograph there is again of a very handsome young black man, and she thinks her mother, who has never seen any color other than brown and would prefer to continue to be brown. Not a racist, just doesn't know anybody. So I say, all right, that solves the problem. I can go home. So I suddenly get angry and say, if you knew that, why did you make me come from Los Angeles all the way? She says, for one thing, my mother has asked, and you have to do this for me. We have to take a photograph together, and I have to send it to her. Why? Because she said, you have to prove it to me that you have actually met this boy, and the boy has met you. She didn't know about photoshopping and all that in those days. And so she says, I bought a camera just for this. So she keeps it there, and she has practiced for several hours how to take a selfie. So she puts it there, and we sit, but not too close by, because being in touch is not something that Indian mothers would appreciate. So we sit close enough to show that we like each other, but not too close. And the photograph is taken. And after that, I awkwardly shake hands with her, because you don't go around kissing somebody you're not going to get married. That's the rule in India. Therefore, I leave from there, and I rush, but I say I have a lot of time, and I look at my watch, and I suddenly realize that time has changed the last night, and it is 1 hour ahead, and I am going to miss my flight unless So now I go through lights. After all, cops in America are so kind. I go through lights all over the place, and I reach my friend's place, and he has prepared an Indian meal. It is very bad, but it doesn't matter. I just am now with another man, and my mother doesn't want me to marry another man. Therefore, danger is averted for the evening. I go to O'Hare, I catch a flight, and my wife, who always comes to these stories and somehow couldn't come today, told me, whatever story you're going to tell there, don't tell it to me, because we have been married 48 years on the basis of a contract that we will never tell each other what happened before we met each other. Thank you.